My life has always been pretty cheerful. This was made possible by my friends, family, a bright future at my university, and nothing bad is happening in my life so far. Everyone knows that I have nice thoughts of me as I have from them. All my teachers and I get along quite well, and despite the having no other or known relatives than my parents, I didn't really care much. I always thought of my friends as brothers I had. However, something I hid for years. I, like many other people, know that I'm a 90s kid, and I'm pretty sure even adults like those years too. Video games and sympathetically good TV cartoons. Yes, good TV cartoons. So that the not the wish for a dream is to becoming a cartoon tester, I got to me when I was just about 6 years old. My parents accepted delightedly when I told them that I wanted to be one. After all, it was the perfect job for someone of my age. So when people came to the house to ask my parents, I wanted it to be so badly. Nothing went actually wrong. So one afternoon, when they took me to the Nickelodeon HQ, I was excited to see everything, and they were going to be before anybody watching it with me in the first place. My friends would be jealous. So I stood there in the big room with a big TV and a DVD player, the first time I actually first saw one. Like any other 5 kids that were like me, were expecting to watch cartoons all day. The room felt somewhat like a living room, probably make us feel much more comfortable. It had a carpet, chairs, a table, potted plants, and even a nice warm paint on the walls. A staff member came out of nowhere with a DVD smiling at us. "We're going to make a new series on Nickel Jr.," he said. "And if you like it, we'll send the first season to your parents in no time," he says in a cheery tone. All the kids started celebrating as the man inserted the DVD in the DVD player. "I'll be back in a while," he said with a bright smile as he left the room. The TV went on to static screen, which was odd because it was the newest they had been selling that year. It was static for a while, and it started to show a warm fireplace burning. The camera then showed the whole room. No music was heard at all, nor did it introduce anything. The camera showed a chair faced at the window, showing the stars and a night sky. The room looked warm and soft. Bald head at the chair, it slowly turned around, showing big, creepy eyes and, surprisingly, a realistic mouth. Me and all the other kids were surprised about him and his appearance and waited to see what would happen. A robotic, emotionless voice struck on the silence as the man said, "Oh, I didn't see you there." The camera turned around, showing a crudely made CGI body that happened to be a man's. He greeted us and said, "Hello, I'm Gregory, and this is my room." The cameras then zoomed in on his creepy face. "We're going to have so much fun together, just the 2 of us," he pointed out the window. "We could look at the stars together." He then held a book. "We can read a book together." The camera then went to the perspective at the fireplace as Gregory said, "We can stare at the glorious flames of the fireplace together." The silence was crushed instantly, with all of us kids looked confused and looked at each other. We waited for a while Gregory's face stared at the chair into the fire. His face suddenly appeared again, and the camera zoomed in slowly. "But no matter what we'll do, it'll just be the 2 of us, and no one else is in this room, just me and you. No parents, no police, no one can hear you." The distorted background music began to start playing as his face got closer and closer. Not only that, but his voice in the background itself started to get weird as transparent flames then took over the fireplace. "Embrace me. I need love. Gregory needs love." And the movie just ended with the paralyzed face all over the screen. Every kid started crying uncontrollably as a man from a few minutes ago came in. He had a very angry look on his face as his words pierced throughout my memory. "You! I thought that guy learned his lesson a long time ago." But he then furiously yelled and then got out of the door with the other kids. The screen went blank as I secretly took the DVD. It had a clean, simple, plain text saying, "Gregory's room." After a few days, there was some news about the parents of Nickelodeon for inappropriate content shown. But as far as the traveling labeling incident, that is just a show ultimately rejected due to a poor focus group result. My parents were so frightened that they couldn't even let me get near the place where we lived at near Nickelodeon HQ. Until then, I kept the DVD CD with me. hoping to understand one day the meaning of such a dreadful creation. And that, my little pretties, was Gregory's Room. I guess you could say a Nickelodeon creepypasta or something. I'm gonna call it Gregory's Room Lost episode because I think that makes more sense. Now, my final thoughts of the story. This is actually a really good classic creepypasta. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this story was actually a pretty good classic creepypasta, and it's a Nickelodeon creepypasta at that. It's a pretty good classic one. It was very well made in detail. I really do like how the whole concept itself was actually pretty interesting. Like, I like how a lot of these creepypastas really do tend to be. Like, this one is like one of the oldest classic creepypastas. Now, I really would have to say that these creepypastas, this one that I came across was actually pretty freaky. I'm not gonna lie, this story was actually quite freaky. When I first saw this pasta, I honestly was surprised to see how creepy this one was. Like, basically, the concept, the whole concept of, Gregory's Room, I know this pasta, I'm not really sure when it was written or something. I believe this, yeah, it might have been written maybe in 2013. Yeah, 2013 or 2012. I'm not really sure when this was made. But this was actually a pretty freaky story regarding, how this went out. I actually remember seeing how this pasta went out as a pretty good concept for what this is. I really do like that how this story went out. It's pretty amazing. It has a really good concept for what this pasta is. Like, basically, I know it had a couple cliches incorporated in this story, but this is an older one, so it gets a pass on them because of this is like a classic creepypastas. And this was written way back before creepypasta cliches became repetitive and, well, annoying at times. But this one, I really would have to say that this one was actually pretty freaky. In this whole story, basically what happens is, I think what's scary about, Gregory's face, I think it's just the detail and texture. Like, I know Nickelodeon has done pretty messed up crazy stuff when it comes to making something really scary, which, to be honest, a lot of the time when it comes to Nickelodeon shows, most of them nowadays are just rated PG-13, or not PG-13, but PG, mostly because of, how the concept and everything went out of this episode. This actually provided pretty good detail and it was really well made. I really do find this one to be an enjoyable one. Now, the grammar of this story is really good. I enjoy how, the concept went out. It was pretty freaky. It was, holy crap. This one actually freaked me out. Like, not jumping out of my seat and screaming. No, not that. But I would have to say that this story actually provided pretty awesome detail of, the whole story of its own self. It's actually pretty well made. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this story actually is a good classic creepypasta. It's definitely well made. Now, I did hear a couple narrations of this story, so I actually listened to them back then. I think it was 2019 or 2020. I listened to a bunch of narrations of this story, and I would have to say, I could tell a lot of people were pretty, amazed on how good this creepypasta is. So, I'm not gonna lie, this story actually provided pretty good detail regarding on how amazing this pasta was. Now, I really do hope the Shadow Reader does take a time to, take a look at this story someday, because I think he'll like this story. I have a feeling he might like this story if he gives it a shot, because it's a very good classic creepypasta. It's a good Nickelodeon one, because, a lot of some SpongeBob classic creepypastas, this one actually provides pretty good detail for what this is. Now, this story, I would have to say, it's a flat out amazing story. I really do like how, the protagonist was, a young kid in this story who happened to see this at the Nickelodeon HQ studio, which is pretty amazing too. And to be honest, this story actually was a lot of fun to narrate. I actually had fun narrating this story. And I'm not really sure who the original author is, as I can't seem to find who the original author is. So, I am going to leave this as anonymous for now, unless if I do find out who the original author is in the future, I'll be sure to give him or her proper credit because this story was flat out amazing. I really do find this story to be enjoyable. And if you guys are into, creepypastas, I highly recommend you check this one out. Now, this one is on the regular Creepypasta Wiki, so feel free to go check that one out if you like. Now, anyways, with that being the case, and with that being said, I'm going to go to my final rating of this pasta. Now, with that being the case, and with that being said, I'm going to say this right now. Like I'm always going to continue to say, this is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regarding these creepypastas, and this is just simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be a 10 out of 10. Pretty good creepypasta. It was a really good classic one. It was definitely really well made. The grammar in this story was amazing. Same with the sentence structuring, the storyline, and I really do like how, everything went out about this story. This is actually pretty believable, to be completely honest, and I really found that there's a lot of time and effort into the story, and the author put a lot of his or her work into this story. So, anyways, that being the case and that being said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what would you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so then you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.